we have a wonderful talk by Shinde ji, who's much loved and respected by all of us. One of the most remarkable things about Shinde ji is he attends many online programs and gives lot of encouragement to young students of theosophy, which I think very rarely do senior theosophers do that. So I think more senior theosophers should follow Shindiji's example and attend lectures by younger theosophers and give the encouragement. It is really means a lot. And with these words, I welcome Shindiji for his talk on uh, DNA, the genetic messenger for ascension, part 1. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Vimalji, and thank you everybody who have joined online. This is a topic which everybody should know, I think, because DNA is the divine light code. And unless when it is said, light is within you, enlightenment comes from within. So it is this DNA which is the divine light code. Genetics or geneticists describe it as genetic code. It is made up of, as we know, 4 base chemicals: adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. These are the only 4 bases which are determining our biological structure. But our ancient seers, even modern science, says that DNA is not merely a blueprint for the body form or life form, but it is a spiritual antenna, and it holds memory, light, and resonance. Most importantly, it responds to our emotions, to our intentions, to our frequencies that we match. So DNA, one more characteristic feature of this DNA is that it is constantly replicating. Replicating means replicates and gives rise to new strands of DNA. This process is going on constantly. In biological term, we define death only when the replication of DNA stops. That is the point. So, DNA vibrates, it emits, it receives right signals, and remarkably, what today's information is, 90% of what was once labeled as the junk DNA may actually function as quantum code. That is what the new shift made me to think over it again. That means this quantum code, which we were calling as the junk DNA, we were under the information that only 5% DNA is active and remaining 90% is junk DNA. But it is now thought it may function as the quantum code, storing the ancestral, karmic, and even interdimensional information. Therefore, DNA is not just inherited biology, but it is a cosmic archives of consciousness where everything is stored. So when we begin to awaken spiritually with our spiritual practices, we may feel this activation in the body, and these are not accidents, but they are the reactions of dormant DNA strands. Because those are dormant DNA strands are activating and reconnecting us to the higher intelligence and to the soul memory. You may read in theosophical literature, intelligence came first. How he thought over it, it is really interesting to know. So I think you can project slide one by one, Vimalji. Who is, or Pradeep, who is the first slide we project? That will be good for us to understand more easily. Number one slide, yeah. One by one, you just. That will be more. Yes, this is the title slide. You keep it that one. Title. So DNA genetic messenger for human ascension. All masters' teaching is pointed towards human ascension through this messenger. We in Theosophy we speak about the H.P. Blavatsky, the messenger who brought the knowledge to the whole world about the existence of perfected being. But this DNA genetic messenger is helping us to elevate the humanity. Its activation may be in three ways. Number one, DNA strands can be awakened through our spiritual practices. Second, we may have accession to the higher states of consciousness. And third, we may get activated to the lofty moral code which HPB says about the altruism and service to others. So these three things can happen by DNA activation. So, one term, it is a software upgrading. We are upgrading our software. Science is proving that our body's ability to heal and repair itself is greatly affected by our belief, by our thoughts, by our emotions, by our intentions, and therefore they have profound vibrational effect upon our DNA and continually evolving this genetic code. We are the programmers of our code. This is what this title I gave, DNA genetic messenger for human ascension. So next you can project the slide. So here you see the DNA molecule. The problem is not within life. The problem is you have not taken charge of your mind. This is the basic thing we must remember. Of course, DNA is the life code. The problem is not with the life code, but we have not taken charge of our mind. Why it is mind? Mind is the tool which thinks, which feels, which gets affected, which vibrates, and that affects the DNA molecule. So the problem is not with life. The problem is we have not taken charge of our own mind. It is rightly said, mind is a kind of magnet. Think of positively, life will be automatically positive. Think of blessings, you attract the blessings. Think of problems, then you attract the problems. This is what the like formula. It works like this. We have both masculine energy that protects and feminine energy that creates. But when these two energies, they come together, they create wholeness. So to make the mind whole is very important. We will talk it later about the mind. And then next, go to the next slide. In the light on the path, it is said, hold fast to that, neither substance nor existence. Hold fast to that, neither substance nor existence. Then how to hold fast? To hold fast is to resonate. Resonance knows vibrations. So one who is on the threshold of the divine, no law can be framed. That is what Light on the Path says. No guide can exist. Final struggle is to resonate oneself. So here this slide says, I walk through the gate, I cannot see. I open to what I cannot name. I trust what only resonance can know. So our business is, as H.P. Blavatsky says in the diagram of meditation, it is very first point she says, expand your consciousness in space and eternity. So this expansion, if you know, 700 plus is enlightenment. Why I am saying, it is expansion and contraction of consciousness can happen. When we raise ourselves from the lower grades to step by step to higher grades, if we write like the 250 is the central grade, not contracted, but we have come to the threshold. Then from 250, when we raise our to the 310, it becomes willingness. Willing obedience comes. When it becomes 310 willing obedience, when it comes to the 350, we begin to accept all that comes to us. And when we raise to the 400, why I am telling expansion of the consciousness. These are the parameters, 400. When we raise to this 400, we begin to rationalize and reason. And when we raise to 500, then we touch to the love. When we begin to 540, then we feel joy. And when we reach to 600, we feel peaceful of mind. And 700 and plus is enlightenment. This is what expansion of consciousness. I walk through the gate, I can't see. That means we are expanding our consciousness from neutrality, that is 250. Below 250, it is contraction. Means 175, it is pride, 150, it is anger, 125, it is desire, 100, it is fear, 75, it is grief, 50 is apathy, 30 is guilt, and 20 is shame, shameful. So these are the expansion of consciousness. We can see our own feelings, thoughts, and how we raise to that thing. Next slide, which made me to think over on this topic. Next slide, please. Next slide is human cloning. We know this phenomenon or this technique, human cloning. The monster is out of the bottle. Is this an experiment by scientists to artificially create humans? This is what came as the BBC News. And I took this photo from that. And this made me to think on DNA. Actually, Pradeep Mahapatra asked me, please give one talk. So I said, I am giving a talk on a new thing. Why not we can think of this DNA code? And even next slide you can see, just open it. I am making it understandable and simple. The DNA is in our body. It is so long. It is not small. It is so long. I could span the distance from Earth to Pluto and back. It is 6x. This is what it is given. And it is true. We were thinking about the DNA, how it is coiled and how it is compacted in the chromosomes. Wonderful, wonderful DNA. It is so long. And we must remember, we are our own genetic engineering. With our every thought, with our every emotion, with our every event, with our every experience, we are acting as a epigenetic engineer. So genetic engineering, we are the epigenetic engineers of our own selves. So let us be aware. Let us awaken to our true self and create consciously. This is what I would suggest, because it is an interesting topic. Genetic engineering and cloning are definitely complex fields that raise many questions about ethics, about identity, about humanity. When we go to the ethical implications, would it be respectful to replicate or modify the genetic material of someone and consider sacred or enlightened, or cloning of Buddha? Would it be respectful? That is one we need to think about. Second, scientific feasibility. Currently, cloning and genetic engineering are definitely useful. They are used for medical, agricultural purposes. Cloning a historical figure would be extremely challenging. If not, it is impossible with current technology. And when we think about philosophical questions about this cloning, then philosophical question, would a clone or genetically engineered version of Buddha retain the same consciousness? Is it retaining the same wisdom? Is it retaining the same spiritual significance? These are the questions need to be dealt with. So these topics, they will spark fascinating discussion within ourselves. According to a real Elohim, they say they are highly advanced because who designed this DNA? What we spoke about DNA, who designed this? Watson and Crick model we know very well, we study in the textbooks. Well, he also saw it in his dream. But the question is, who designed it? And it is answered intelligent design by extraterrestrials. This is what, according to real Elohim. And these extraterrestrials are highly advanced beings who created humanity by engineering DNA. When I read first, intelligence came first, somehow it strikes to me, yes, it may be possible. And now we see the masters, etc., how they affect us, and they may affect through this genetic code. But religions believe that with the right technology, DNA can be used to clone individuals and even transfer consciousness into a new body. The ultimate goal is immortality and conscious evolution, not through spirituality, but through science guided by ethics. Again, it should be guided by the ethics. It is possible, that is what they believe. Religions, they believe. And this makes realism unique among esoteric systems. And it seems DNA not as a spiritual metaphor, but as an actual programmable code written by scientists from another world. But what we need to be remembered, this realism focuses on external intervention, whereas we in theosophy or in anthroposophy, we focus on inner spiritual evolution. The evolution is from within outside. That is what theosophy believes. Anyway, the second view is Rudolf Steiner. The Steiner's view on genetics, who is a student of theosophy, who developed anthroposophy and had unique insights on heredity. And he taught that the physical body is inherited from parents via heredity, which we study in science today, that we inherit through DNA. But the real ego, how it is inherited? Krishnamurti also called, our psychology is inherited or not? The real ego, the astral body and the etheric body are brought by individual soul or higher self from previous incarnation. This is what Rudolf Steiner believes. Whereas he further says, physical body is brought by DNA, ego is brought by our psyche, our soul, whereas the soul chooses the family and body that best matches for its karmic needs. This is what we also study. But this is the view of Rudolf Steiner, student of theosophy, who later on developed anthroposophy. When we think of DNA and the moral spiritual code, Steiner did not refer to DNA directly, but he emphasized that spiritual forces change biological form. That is what he believed. But a new age and esoteric DNA teaching, when we look at new age and esoteric DNA teaching, many modern spiritual schools often blending theosophy, blending Kabbalah, Gnostic ideas, and quantum mysticism teach that DNA is the multidimensional antenna, not merely biological one. Even these extra strands, we can speak in the next talk about not only two strands, but there are 12 strands DNA and light codes. Some believe in this human originally had 12 strands of DNA, 10 of which are currently dormant, and 2 are, that is what we study, double helix is active. But these extra strands, supposed to be related with our chakras, interdimensional consciousness, or even galactic origins, that we deal in the second talk. I told to Pradeep Mahapatra, this won't end in one talk. So when we, through meditation, through sound, music, sacred geometry, and the light work, we can affect or influence these strands, and we can make these strands reactivated. Though not found in mainstream of science, these teachings symbolically represented the awakening of full human potential. We are speaking, theosophy is a third object to investigate the human potentials. And we can relate to this DNA as the receiver of divine thought. Esoteric teaching often say DNA can be influenced by thought, belief, and emotions. Words, symbols, and intentions can change gene expression, a concept similar to epigenetics. But if we take further, the Russian scientist Peter Garvey and the idea of wave genetics are often cited in these teachings. The Kabbalistic and Hermetic view, in Jewish we know mysticism and Hermetic teaching, the body is made from the letters of God or God's name, symbolizing divine coding. So DNA as mirror of soul, to sum up of this idea of cloning and ethical problems. Despite their differences, all these traditions suggest the human being is more than biology. DNA is just a vehicle, not a prison. It reflects not only our physical inheritance, but our spiritual identity, our karma, our galactic origins, evolution, whether spiritual, in the sense, theosophy or anthroposophy, what it speaks about, threefold evolution, scientific realism or energetic new age theories. They are unlocking higher potentials already coded within. As Axiom says, as above, so below, as within, so without. Whether the code comes from God, karma, extraterrestrials, or the divine self, the message is the same. We are designed for evolution, and our true DNA may be written in light, not just molecules. Next slide, you can focus now. We'll go fast. Time is. When we say as above, so below, not one, the next one. Yes, see this. We are comparing nebula and human eye, death of star and birth of a cell, universe and brain cell. These are the three slides. They connect us as above, so below, as within, so without. The nebula is more like a human eye. Even death of a star, we can compare with the cell division. During cell division, it comes to a zero stage, and then genetic material is distributed by replicating. Those who study the cell division, they can understand birth of a new cell and death of a star. And the universe and our brain cells, the neurons, how they are connected. So we don't recognize this relationship or unity of with the microcosmos and macrocosmos. It is our, rightly said, race disconnected us, religion separated us, politics has divided us, and money, wealth, they have classified us. So we are so much distinctions in our mind. The open mind is that mind which has no kind of distinctions. There is a powerful 3-step formula for changing our world. Number one, human emotions can change shape of our DNA and directly influence physical matter. Second, human feelings influence the stuff of our universe. And third, learning to master our emotions, we can begin to master our reality. Even Rh positive and Rh negative blood. We see Rh positive is okay, but Rh negative is very rare. And it is said Rh negative blood is linked with the hybrid DNA. It resists, and the characteristic feature of this Rh negative DNA or hybrid DNA is shown. It resists instinct collective progression. Instinctive collective progression, it always resists. We call them as the negative people. Even energetic signature of separative energetic signature. Their DNA is separative energetic signature. And they have different ability. They may access interdimensional memory more easily. Whereas positive blood DNA, it is more eco-friendly, earth gaya, feels part of the whole, and energetic signature of unity may be more grounded in emotional healing. This is what I want to show with this slide. Next slide we go. It is more easy now for understand. Well, many times we have discussed. Brain is the tool of the mind, and mind is the tool of the soul. So when brain is the tool of the mind, we speak about brain-mind complex. We speak about Kama Manasa and Buddhi Manasa. Kama Manasa lives in victim mentality. whereas Buddhi Manasa takes accountability to create different reality. Kama Manasa, scarcity mindset, whereas Buddhi Manasa has mindset of abundance. Kama Manasa sees mistakes, whereas Buddhi Manasa sees lessons. Kama Manasa complains about everything, whereas Buddhi Manasa grateful and find joy in the little moments. Why I am giving these two separate, two strands. Again, brain is also connected by the corpus callosum. Connection of nervous connection is there in between. But these two brain lobes work separately. We don't know what is mind, but we know about more about our, not fully, but know physically our brain. It has got two cerebral hemispheres. How we can connect with the our manasa, kama manasa and buddhi manasa, right and left brains. The next slide, it is more easy to understand now. Same, we can see the open mind and closed mind. What happens if you make a mistake? If you make a mistake, uh, you learn, you solve, you move forward with the open mind. You accept criticism or you manage your fear and you maintain balance. This is the characteristic feature of the open mind. I usually say open mind is that mind which knows its possibility on one side and also it knows limitations of the mind. So such is the open mind and it deals with various activities. Whereas closed mind is dull mind. It is not active. Closed mind doesn't know its possibilities. So it is closed. And therefore, closed mind deny many things, stagnates, suffers from what others will say. Fear manages this closed mind. Anger conditions this mind. And you repeat the same mistake. Don't learn the lessons. So this is what why I am telling. Once we know our mind, brain, then really focus our energy on such things. We may alter our genetic material DNA. Next slide. We'll go to the next slide. So look at the difference between local attention and global attention. Local attention and global attention because our left and right brain. Local attention, perception of the world as composed by individual building blocks, receiving dead objects, attuned at understanding static and conditioned or decontextualized objects and rejects new experiences, abstract and symbolic. Whereas global attention, recognition of the whole, recognition of living things, and openness to new experiences, and intuition and empathy. So local attention and global attention. let it be a global concern. You must be, Krishnamurti told, be aware of three things and try to be that. Number one is human concern. Number two, global concern. And number three is having a religious mind, true religious mind. That mind which is open, new mind, regenerated mind. So when we say brain is the tool of mind, when your brain is in a theta frequency, then it is in a rapid programming and hypnosis state. And in that state, theta frequency, you access, when you get up early morning, that theta frequency is there. And also you can have that frequency when you are in a stage of falling asleep. And therefore we are advised, morning time is best time to listen or repeat your affirmations or whatever want you to resolve with intent for reprogramming your subconscious mind for the best result. We'll go to the next slide. Here, I am not explaining. In the next part, I will explain the DNA molecule and their function if you require. But what I say here, DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. It's my book of life. DNA is my book of life. My life, my choices, my mistakes, my lessons, not your business. Mind your own problems before you talk about mine. My life is not your story to tell. This is what, it is my book of life. DNA is my book of life. That I want to stress here. Then going to the next slide, here you can know. So to know our DNA molecule, which is included now in our text, just for revision's sake, I can tell you, DNA is a double helix with the base on the inside and the sugar phosphate backbones on the outside of molecule. Base on opposite strand are paired in such a manner with the hydrogen bonds. Always A pairs with T and G pairs with C. A means adenine and T means thymine. A to T and G to C connection is there with the hydrogen bonds. The two DNA strands, they run in opposite way. Can we compare these two snakes in Kundalini? They run in opposite way, defined by 5' position and 3' position of deoxyribose sugar. So this is what it is shown, how DNA molecule is formed. So I will end with this. Better we can, it is a time for discussion. If you want to say something, you can say, because I can extend much more, but better we'll stop next part, tree of life and how it is helpful in Gotra. Our Gotra system is also connected. Tree of life, how it is symbolically represented in Egypt, etc. how it can be connected with DNA. This is just for what I am doing, stimulating or accelerating your imaginary power. I am not telling anything authentic. Whatever I have studied, I have put before you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, very thought-provoking lecture and lot of scientific. Fortunately, sir, before the lecture, I went back to studying what is DNA, the TA, GC, everything I read, so that I will understand something of your lecture. And one thing, sir, like I mean, for it is good to be reminded that our actions, feelings, thoughts affect our DNA and change which DNA will be active. So there is a switching on and switching off of some DNAs. Like they say, the cancer DNA is there in all of us. So it means that all of us are capable of getting cancer. And I think many of us may have observed that people with a lot of negative emotions, they seem to get cancer. So that does seem to be what you said is true. But what you also brought out is that the masters can affect our DNA, which is well, that is really something. I hope you can go more into it next time. So now we'll open up for further discussions and any queries. We have a very big audience today. You can write in the chat box also if you wish. I will read out the question.
Shinde,
Yes.
uh, this mishap happened in Ahmedabad. The plane crashed and
Okay.
266 passengers died, and that DNA test took place. And this DNA matching was the only phenomena that we can have to hand over the bodies which were burnt. Not we
Yes.
cannot say the bodies because they were all scattered, bones and everything for
You
the
muted,
family
muted.
members to have the last rites. So I think this DNA, that is a scientifically proven exercise in the way that the particular things match and that DNA test. So that is the scientific approach. And what you just explained about this distant stars that affect our body, nebula that you have seen, and that also catches hold of our own concentration. So it is a wonderful thing. I think there is some special significant value of the DNA which is highly connected with our spiritual aspect. Is it so?
Yes, 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 yes. We can think of it like that. Because what is spiritual after all? As I said, expansion of consciousness. When you expand your consciousness to that enlightenment state, that definitely changes your frequency, changes your whole thing, and you connect to that state of spirituality. That is what we think. And especially with Theosophists, we believe in this, that and even science also says, where we focus our energy or when we focus our attention, energy flows towards that point. And therefore, HPB asked us to begin with expansion of consciousness from in space and time, eternity. It is true. Space means matter. You begin from the lower level, gradually to the astral, mental, and supramental, like this. If you go higher and higher, that expansion of consciousness takes place. But don't remain there. Again, you come down. There has to be both give and take. When we go above, we also must come back. Then that effect will be a normal one. So expansion and contraction is necessary, matter and space. So all this we practice in spiritual practice. Our spiritual practice definitely affects our DNA molecule. That is what I believe.
There are one question, sir.
Yes, yes.
Whether DNA, this as it is deoxyribonic acid, something it is mentioned.
Deoxyribonucleic acid. It is a
Yes,
chemical.
yes,
It is a
chemical. Whether it is available for the
Yeah,
human being after death, or only after death means
Even in fossils also we can get.
okay.
In
No,
fossils
suppose
also we can get
there
that.
is no fossil at all, nothing is available. Suppose one is in a higher planes, like a higher mental world, means a Devachani plane. And a person returning back after life is spending 1,000 years, whether the previous DNA of the same individual, as we say, astral elements, mental elements available for the in a reincarnation, whether DNA is a chemical is available again to the same individual after he reincarnate. The soul is reincarnation. After reincarnation, whether the same DNA is available to future. One question. Second question, whether the DNA is available to animal, then plants, minerals, whether this acid is available to them.
Pradeep, if you look into the DNA structure, same nitrogenous basis, adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. So without these chemical bases, this same DNA is present in all living things. Same DNA. And you know the science fiction, Jurassic Park, you know what they did? They took the DNA from the fossil dinosaurs and they shown this picture for us to stimulate our imaginary power. So the DNA is the same everywhere. Only their arrangement is different. The four chemical bases, adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine, if they arrange differently, permutation and combination, they are different. But the DNA is the same. No question. And as Harshvardhan asked, DNA test helps to identify. It is our identity code, actually, just like fingerprint. These are the DNA tests are also available. So science is the really true ally of theosophy.
Yes, that is true. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
A question from Ganesh ji from New Zealand. He asks 1 minute.
Ganesh Kumar is there.
Yes, sir. He has asked a question in the chat box. Can you throw some light about the permanent atoms, life atoms, and DNA? Thank you.
Oh, Ganesh Kumar, you have asked permanent atom and DNA. Yeah. That is, what is permanent atom after all? What theosophy puts before us? It is resonance. We will speak in the next talk. It is, after all, resonance, permanent atom, what it resonates. And if we match our resonance, is we can connect with that. It is more connected with the resonance, vibrations, and all that. And that vibrations attract the similar vibrations for having a new body, etc. Yes, we will think about it. In next talk, we can go deeper into it. Thank you. Thank you.
There is a comment before this by Abha. She says very much current topic, sir, which resonates. The book Mind to Matter of Dawson. I think this is Richard Dawson. Oh, sorry, it's not Richard Dawson. Mind to Matter of Dawson Church. The field of DNA is very, very vast. It requires detailed discussion. Really an excellent job by you. Thank you. Have you heard of this book, sir? Mind to Matter.
No, I have not heard, but it is mind over matter is the fact. That is what it is proved in theosophy or psychokinesis. Psychokinesis is a phenomenon, mind over matter. And many psychokinetic kinesis experiments are there. We can read various books. I am giving just stimulation for your more exploration. More
in-depth
exploration.
study.
Pradeep has given me this task, but I also immediately said, well, I can talk in different thing. I don't know why I don't want to talk more about theosophy, but still I relate that theosophy. My
Yes,
book is
yes, yes.
theosophy. So everything I
Sir,
relate with theosophy. Yeah.
almost 25 years ago, there was a movie called Boys from Brazil. It was about how scientists, German scientists, had cloned Hitler's genes
Yes.
and created 60 boys, babies with Hitler's genes, and then spread them all over the world. So there was this American spy, or this was a task to find all those boys.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go from house to house. Some are in England, some are here, some are there. All of those boys have the appearance, the long face of Hitler, but each one is different because, like you said, epigenetics, the surrounding, the family, the culture, that affects. So they will not become Hitler. And so those people decide, the Americans, that they won't harm those children because they will never turn into the original
Hitler.
Hitler.
Very good, Vimalji. Very good. Very good. Good example that how it affects the DNA molecule, even if you clone it. Very nice. Very nice.
Dhruvaparna is there.
Sir, sir, with permission of the chair,
Yeah.
may I thank you for taking this class on science and theosophy. You have very nicely discussed on the physical and metaphysical, both the aspects of DNA. And thank you so much for that. And you have also linked it, all the aspects with theosophy, lessons from theosophy, what we read and what we teach in theosophy. They also contribute in connecting these metaphysical and physical aspects of DNA. I'll request you in the next class to throw some light on RNA also as the messenger code
Okay.
in this field. Once again, I thank you.
Yes. RNA is the messenger code again. DNA sends message through RNA.
Yeah. So on that aspect,
Okay.
will you just throw some more light on
We
it?
are more concentrated on DNA. Yes, we will speak in the next talk.
Yes.
Even Gotra, etc., we can relate it now to the religious rituals, what we do, how it is connected with the DNA also. Let us explore more and more. I think it is good to do together.
Yes, sir, it requires because of the whole, when we are saying whole humanity is one, Krishnamurti said brain is one also. I
Yeah.
read somewhere. Brain is one. So we should think of it, sir. And only the metaphysicians or occult scientists or
Sir,
student
I
of
have also one question. Sir,
Yes.
I have also one question. Is the DNA progressively connected with the human reincarnation? Or it is simply at one state, it's one body, or it goes on evolving and evolving and evolving?
You know,
Yes,
at
yes,
present, science knows the reincarnation is rebirth or what it is. What is it that reincarnate? It is not the... We must think of what this reincarnates.
Yes, it's all right, sir.
And what reincarnates is vibrations reincarnate. And these vibrations reincarnate through the permanent atoms. Because
But
permanent atoms are there. They are stored.
yes, I could understand. But
Ah.
this is DNA, the formation of DNA progressively evolves through many bodies or something like that.
To this, I may direct you towards studying the 12-stranded DNA. It is only 2-stranded DNA we are studying. When we study 12-stranded DNA, we will take in the next part. And how these 12-stranded DNA, one by one, they take us to the higher and higher level. That we can
Thank
think
you,
of.
sir.
Yeah.
So I think we can end the session. I think mainly the thing is that we have to go from the mechanistic way of thinking that DNA is just a code to thinking that there is a holistic effect of everything, our thoughts, emotions, etc., our way of living on our DNA. So this could be the main takeaway. There could be many takeaways, but I am taking this away. And I thank Professor Shinde for today's lecture. I thank everyone for attending today's talk. Let's close together. Asatoma Satkam. Namasoma Jyotirgam. Murma Amitam Gam.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night.